Can we say that? All right. Then we'll have the kingdom. I like that one. Go ahead.
If I could, I would just chime in. This is the word for paradise, and the rest of the dictionary, the source is Zion.
Yeah, whatever. I don't like that word, but I mean, we use the word rulership in here. All right, because it's not going to be paradise is seen ways that everybody's going to be fine and everybody's going to enjoy themselves. It's not going to be like that for the other nations. Just like the white man is in paradise right now, right? The white man is in paradise right now. We not. He's in rulership, so it's not a paradise. You follow me, officer in the shop? Go ahead.
Yeah, the word I was actually going to use was going to be black supremacy.
You can use that. Rulership. It's still rulership. You understand?
I was just thinking of the lecture that you gave.
Okay. Okay. So a good thing that we got, and I want to make sure, I don't know if it's going to take me a while. If you don't get it the first time I say it, then what we'll do is we'll go back into the topic, and then we'll finish it up a little bit later because I finally got the YouTube up. All right. What she was saying to him is, I know he's going to rise again eventually at some point, probably when the kingdom was coming or something like that. And what he was saying back to her is what? Read what he said.
My brother shall rise again.
No. Go. Keep going.
Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
Yeah, she like, I was talking about saving his life right now. I know he'll rise again, resurrected, and all of this. And Yahushua said back to her, what?
I am the resurrection.
I am the resurrection. What does that mean?
So he's saying that he is the he is the resurrection of black, Hispanic, and Native Indians being on top of it.
That's kind of heavy. That's kind of you can say that, not necessarily. More so, the time is now. The last day that you're speaking about, where it's time for us to start back getting the kingdom, where us to work, where the reign is, the resurrection of what he's going to happen starts with me. Israel coming back alive starts with me. You understand? Now it's gonna take. It's kind of heavy for us to start there. I don't want to take a whole bunch of time. I want to get to this. So what we'll do is after we log off, we got about 45 minutes. We'll come back to your question and make sure you got it down, Pat. All right. All right. So here it is. This is Israelite 101. Every Monday, we here at Brentwood Library. Salakia for the time. Yamayan, if you could pull up the YouTube, make sure nobody don't come in there. Huh? All right, cool. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over what the other thing that happened. Now, what we did the first hour is we kind of addressed situation here in Jacksonville where a young brother was killed at a football game, and another brother he brought out how the same thing could have happened today. Could have happened today and there would have been a whole nother deal down at Daytona. All right. So we dealing with lack of brotherhood, a lack of leadership, a lack of parents being parents and training their children up the way they should go. And that's the issue that we're dealing with. All right. So why is all of this happening? We went over that. Now let's deal with this other part. For those people who do not know, have not watched CNN, a terrorist attack, and I use that word on purpose, a terrorist attack happened in Jacksonville. Yesterday around 2 o'clock, some devil gets mad because he's been the Madden champion for the last 3 years or 2 years or whatever the case may be. New Madden game come out. He lost twice and decides to shoot up everybody in the competition that beat him. All right? We got an issue. Pink people in their guns are very, very dangerous. All right? Something needs to be done. These people need to be stopped. Well, anyways, we got our so-called black leaders, the same ones that I reach out to around here for us to try to get some results in the black community. Now they all on TV, they praying, they doing all this other stuff, but they don't understand that this is the hand of the Lord moving right in front of their eyes. See, people want to think that the Lord is all cookies and bubbles and all of that. Well, the Lord has said in the Bible that he is going to deliver back to Esau those things that he gave to us. And it was fear, it was terror, it was murder. Well, America got all of that coming back to them. And guess what? Us, the people, his people, a compassion, just like it was in the days of Egypt. We ain't got to lift up no guns. We ain't got to do anything against the white man. The Lord is going to do it. And guess what? He used young, crazy jits to do it if he need to. Y'all feel me? So don't be fooled. Don't be scared. If you in this truth and you living by law, statutes, and commandments, there's something you should know when you see things like this happen. And it's a lot more going to happen. So let's go ahead and bring it out. Give me Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. We're going to directly address why these things are happening in America, like the mass shooting that happened in Jacksonville yesterday. All right? Y'all with me? All right. Spent a little bit of time on this. I really more so spent more time on the young brother that got shot at the football game because that's closer to home for me. This right here, not necessarily. But being that I'm the officer that's been charged with raising up this city, I want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to understand what's going on. You got it, Yamayan? Let's get it.
Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Most High is a man of war. The Most High is his name.
The Most High is a man of war. This is what's happening. When you see these bombs start dropping, when you see things start happening to the people that's been oppressing and murdering and raping the Lord's people, one thing you have to know is the Lord is going to stand up and vouch for his people, just like he did in Egypt, just like he did in Babylon. We eventually got out of those captivities, and it was not by our own might. The Lord is a man of war. Why you think you see the men in the ISUPK with the type of attitude we have about things? Why everything in the Bible is war orientated? Put on the full armor of God and all of this other stuff. Life is about war and nothing else. Everybody follow me. So when you see things like this happening to your oppressor, then you just know that it's the Lord doing it. We ain't doing it. Let's go ahead and keep moving with it. Y'all make sure y'all have any questions y'all ask me. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 6. Show you what happens when you decide that you're going to take a whole nation, enslave them, and when the Lord tell you to take your hands off them, you're going to push the gas. When you see your rulership coming to the end and Christ's rulership and men all over the world raising up and finding out their true identity, and you want to hold it back and go even harder than the things that have always held you up, like your AR-15s and your guns and your pistols and all your might with your gun, the Lord will use that same thing to destroy you. Go ahead.
600.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 14. 14. Yeah.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 14. Ye shall not go after other gods of the people which are round about you.
Now, this is talking to Israel right here, right? And this is how the Lord deals with the people that he loves on the earth. And he first gave us a warning, right? And come right behind that. Go ahead.
Come. For the Most High thy power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of the Most High thy power be kindled.
See, the Lord ain't always happy, right? You went against the Lord. It's saying if you want to do this, guess what? The anger of the Lord will be kindled against you. And what will he do?
And destroy thee from off the face of the earth.
And he'll do what?
Destroy thee from off the face of the earth.
The Lord will destroy you off the face of the earth. We're talking about the Most High Power who created heaven and earth. Now, when things happen to black people, we ain't surprised. They wasn't surprised by 3 people getting shot at a high school football game on Friday. But when it's in their spots where they be at, where they chill at, now it makes the national news. Well, the Lord will destroy you off the face of the earth. Let's stay in Deuteronomy. Let's get what's really going on. Deuteronomy 32. I'm moving kind of fast because I know we ain't got a whole bunch of time. I wanted to get to this a little bit earlier, and I want to make sure I address it. And I know that we don't have much time, so follow me. This is what's going on right now. The things that you're going to start to see that America is going to be solemn about, going to be on the nightly news. They're going to be talking about, oh my God, this happened. This is so horrible. Y'all realize there's still fires out there burning in California? Y'all don't even know. It ain't going to let up. The Lord ain't letting up. Keep going, y'all. Let's get it. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. For I lift up my hand to heaven and I say,
that wasn't all.
Oh, Salakia. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
All right. So what this is saying is that the Lord does all of this. He said it ain't nobody with him, ain't no power with him. He is the power, right? Everybody want to blame everything on the devil. Well, we know who the devil is in the ISUPK. And we know whether even when men do things, let's say, for instance, the Lord uses a man to raise up his nation. He uses a man to get his people back on the right track. That's still the work of the Lord. He's doing through men. So when you see people doing these things, when the Lord uses a devil, it's him doing the work. I kill, I make alive, I wound. So he's going to make his people alive when he breathed the breath of life back into them, and that valley of dry bones live. He wounds. He's going to wound the nations that's been over his people and oppressing his people forever. He heals. If you heard what the brother said about, that sister that went out there, we are a sick nation. And the only thing that's going to heal us is the Lord. But if we in the Lord's hands, whether it be good or bad, ain't nobody going to deliver you up out of it. All right? Skip down to Now, go ahead and read 40 and 41 real quick.
Verse 40. For I lift up my hand to heaven, and I say, I live forever.
The Lord not gonna die. The Lord did not get killed. People think he don't exist no more. Keep going.
If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies.
Whoa, Most High Christ right there. If I want to whet my sword and I get ready for judgment, and this is what's happening in the land that we live in right now, and it's going to happen all over the world. You'll see it. Don't be surprised. Don't be scared. As long as you're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, this stuff does not apply to you. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Everything can fall around you. You serve the Lord, and the Lord will make sure you good. Because you best believe if he starts to whet his glittering sword and take hold on judgment, he is going to render vengeance to his enemies. Go ahead.
And reward them that hate me.
And he is going to reward them that hate him. It ain't going to be no good reward. People who you might think is innocent may have to go. The point is, the Lord is going to get his point across, and he's going to make sure what he wanted to happen happens. Y'all with me? Y'all done got kind of quiet. All right, give me Psalm 78, verse 49. If you've been in the school for a while, you're familiar with this. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you haven't and you're new to it, the Most High is a man of war. You can't blame everything that happens bad on the devil. Because the white man is the devil. And he ain't no power in the earth. The Lord has given the earth into the hands of the wicked. And when he's ready to take it back and Christ to come and rule and reign, he will destroy this kingdom. You're going to watch it, and it might not happen overnight. Then again, it might. Go ahead and read up.
Psalms chapter 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them.
He cast upon the fierceness of his anger. They tell you God is all love. Now you think the Lord love when you continue to hate him, you continue to go against him, you continue to defy him, you continue to belittle him when he's the most high power that created heaven and earth? Then you done kindled his fierceness and his anger and wrath and indignation. And he'll send evil angels among them. We call them demons. He'll put a demon on a young white boy that he's so mad about a video game that he'll shoot up places where they feel safe at. If y'all was here and y'all knew anything about Jacksonville, you ain't mess around down there at the landing. There was always a whole bunch of police down there. This is downtown Jacksonville. This is a place where when they had the Super Bowl that's packed, when they have everything, they have big country concerts out there. This is where them people go hang at, not us, for the most part. But now he bringing it to their face, right? Go on to the next one.
Verse 50. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death.
He ain't spared them from death, right? Go ahead.
He gave their life over to the pestilence.
So it ain't just that. It's also when you see mad cow disease, when you see that the farmers that lost all the crops, when you say that all the chickens is bad, everything, the Lord will send what they call them locusts to come and eat up all the crops, and you won't have nothing to eat. These are all things that's going to happen or have happened, and you see the Lord's anger upon a nation. This is what it's giving you the example of. Go ahead and give the next verse.
And smote all the firstborn in Egypt.
Y'all forgot about that? We celebrate it every year. Keep going.
The chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham, but made his own people to go forth like sheep, and guided them in the wilderness like a flock.
And he guided his own people that was willing to follow the man that he put in charge right up out of there, guided them right up out of there to safety. If you really in here and you done changed your life and you become a brand new man or a brand new woman and you are serving the Lord, you ain't got to be worried when you see stuff like this on TV. You know the Lord is a man of war. You know it, right? You should be waiting for it. You should be waiting for it. And when you see it, you know it's the hand of the Lord. It ain't no the devil. The devil is the one who has done put you in the situation in the hell that you've been in all your life. And guess who the only person gonna get you out of it? And it ain't gonna look clean. Can you imagine the Israelites in Egypt where you wake up and all the Egyptians firstborn is dead? Or when the locusts, or when the blood in the water, all this other stuff that happened. Can you imagine being in there? What this is telling you is that you better get on the side of the God of Israel. You better forsake all them idols that you've been worshiping all your life. You better keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Give me Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. The Lord ain't playing. I got a whole rundown on where the Lord is talking about he is going to destroy sinful kingdoms off the face of the earth. People think it's a game. They have they damn near be having like orgasms in church when they talking about the Lord and how beautiful and wonderful and great. Well, he's also a terrible power is what the Bible said. You got that up? You want it up? You on every one of them. Keep going. Let's go.
Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
Uh-oh. The Lord, who is a spirit, created all spirits, good, bad, nice ones, angels that protect his people, things that do good, the rain that blessed the earth with the crops and all of that, but he got spirits that was created for vengeance. Keep going.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
Right.
In the time of destruction.
In the time of what?
In the time of destruction.
There is a time for everything. There's a time for war. There's a time for peace. In the time of what?
Destruction.
What happens?
They pour out their force.
Those spirits of vengeance that the Lord created pour out their force. Go ahead.
And appease the wrath of him that made them.
And they do what the Lord told them to do. Now, sometimes that looks like a terrorist attack. Other times it might look like the fire that's going on in California or earthquakes. This is what the Bible says it is. Go ahead to verse 29.
Verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance.
All these was created for what?
Vengeance.
All these was created for vengeance. All of them. Keep going.
Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword.
And the what?
The sword.
And the sword. What would be the sword in modern days time? Anybody? Go ahead, Gabar.
It could be a gun.
It could be a gun. These things were created for vengeance. The teeth of wild beasts, when you see these people getting attacked by animals, scorpions and serpents, and the sword, what are they going to do? Finish that. Verse 30. And the sword.
Punishing the wicked to destruction.
Punishing the wicked to destruction. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 2. 1 Samuel chapter 2. This is what's going on, man. It ain't no need to be alarmed. We in the truth here. We done changed our life. We coming out of the world. So as the world around you continues to die, then what you do is you thank the Most High for his mercy of giving you this truth, for giving you enough integrity to change your life and to come and to try to get in the good graces and following our King Yahweh Shai and coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And not only that, taking it a step further to go out and to try to wake your people up. Remember what we read. At the end of the day, the Lord gonna wake up who he wants. It's not to him that willeth, nor him that runneth, but the Lord requires a willing mind. A willing mind, right? What we know about Esau is he is not going to give up his kingdom. He ain't willing to. He ain't. So guess what? The Lord is going to have to do exactly what he did to Pharaoh to him. Y'all following me? All right. Anybody don't understand how this correlates with what we're talking about? You got it up? All right. Write it down later. I got the notes. Give me 1 Samuel 2 and 6.
1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Most High killeth and maketh alive.
Wait a minute. How you going to do both? This thing started out, it say the Lord killeth. Y'all see that? The Lord killeth and make alive. Don't you ever get no fairy tale perception about what the Lord is. The Spirit of the Lord can do things that you in your own mind may feel are terrible because you don't understand the bigger picture of what's supposed to be going on in this earth. The Lord may take your old lady out your life, and down the line, you realize that was the best thing that could have away from your best friend. And later on down the line, you realize that nigga was wicked the whole time. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. Keep going.
He bringeth down to the grave and brighteneth up.
He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. He'll lift you up out of the grave. Right? Or he'll put you in it. Keep going.
Verse 7. The Most High maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up.
I, for the life of me, could not figure out how these sorry rappers with no talent would be getting all this money and I would not. I thought I was so good and the cats that I was rocking with was good and I had the best producers and all of this other stuff. And then you'll see a cat like Trinidad James, you know what I'm saying, go all in my watch. You don't understand. You think if I would have been in that arena, I would have been right here tonight trying to get my brothers and sisters to understand what we need to do to get out of this foolishness we in? The Lord made me poor. Why? The meek shall inherit the earth. You know how hard it is for a rich man to get into the kingdom? These are all things I would normally pull the precepts on or have y'all go to. I'm just spitting it out and we're going to keep it moving, all right? All right. Let me see where else we want to go. Give me Amos chapter 3, verse 6. What we talking about tonight is the so-called terrorist attack that happened right here in this city where I'm sitting at yesterday. Some devil wants to run up in the landing, which is like a little strip where all the people from out of town come, go down and, you know, spend money. They have little concerts and stuff down there, downtown Jacksonville, where it's always a bunch of JSO, which is Jacksonville Sheriff Office people down there. They kind of then kick black people out of there for the most part. We used to go down there and hang out. They stopped that a lot. I remember being a teenager and getting kicked out of the landing. Didn't do nothing wrong. We just used to hang out there. Well, since then, it's a good old boy set up. And the Lord used the devil to wake them up and realize that they not safe nowhere. When the Lord wants to come and get you, he'll break you down. Go, let's get it. Let's get it up.
Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
See, this is what's happening now. If y'all was here, y'all can see the news. The sheriff don't know what to say or do. The people don't know what to say. All these so-called blackity-black congressmen that then got voted in, that the people put in place that ain't did nothing for the hood, who don't care about us, they're affected now because some white boy lost his life. 2 of them. Right? Now it affects them. It hit home. Because what they did is they worked their way up, and now they're making this money, and they move out of the hood and forget about the brothers that's killing each other over nothing in the hood at football games. And it only matters to them when it's a terrorist attack in a place where you know that it ain't us. As soon as you hear terrorist attack or mass shooting, you know it ain't us. Well, it's the Spirit of the Lord moving in the earth that's causing them to be afraid, right? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people be not afraid? Trumpet means war, signifies war. Keep going.
Shall there be evil in a city, and the Most High have not done it?
You understand? The evil that's happening in the city, this is the Lord doing it. This is the Lord doing it. What I suggest you do is you get on the good side of the Lord so you don't get caught up in the storm. Because remember, you got fire and hail and all of these different things that the Lord have created for his vengeance. And when he comes and deal with the people that's been oppressing his people and murdering his people relentlessly with no remorse, you don't want to be caught with them. Now, here's the good part about knowing that there's evil in the city that the Lord have done. Read the next verse.
Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Most High power will do nothing.
He will do everything.
Will do nothing.
Surely the Lord won't do nothing except what?
But he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
The Lord will reveal what he's doing in the earth through the men of the Lord that he has put in place. Now, when you look at your pastor and he ain't got nothing to say, when all they can say is pray for Jacksonville, pray for Miami, pray for wherever you at. When they shot up Orlando, I was down there. Pray for Orlando, right? They telling you to pray. But they ain't keeping no laws. And the people who turn from the law, even their prayer is an abomination to the Lord. Go to the men who have the information, who can give you something and tell you why these things are happening in the earth. Because the Lord ain't going to do nothing without revealing it to his prophets. He already told us this was going to happen. Let's go to one of the greatest prophets in the Bible. Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 24. So when we talk about the Most High doing what he needs to do to put this thing back in order, sometimes us getting shot ain't good enough. We got to see the oppressor getting shot before we'll get afraid enough to do what the Lord said to do, right? When they talk about sweet baby Jesus, when they talk about the little homosexual dude, that picture they put up there and they claim that's Christ, when Christ was a man of war just like the Lord, that spirit is how the Lord always been. If you go back to Deuteronomy 7, he took out like 7 nations mightier than us just to give us the land. This thing ain't about peace. It's about rulership. Now, if you want rulership, you're going to have to separate yourself from this land because it's going to fall due to the vengeance of the Lord. But it ain't got nothing to do with you. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 24. The disciple is not above his master.
Salakia, is that 34?
34.
Yeah, give me 34.
Salakia. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
Why did he say think not? Because he knew that's what they was thinking, right? So when people talk about the blood of Jesus and all this stuff they tell you at church, and peace on earth and all of this stuff that they talk about at Christmas and all of this, Christ himself had the spirit of war, which he got from the Most High. That's the spirit of the Most High in the earth. And he said, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. Go ahead.
Come. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
I came not to send peace, but a sword. What? I'm giving you now the spirit of a man of the Lord. I gave you the spirit of the Lord. You understand the spirits he put on there for vengeance. You understand why the things in the earth are happening. But this is the spirit that you have to put on as a man of the Lord. We ain't come for peace on earth. We came to bring a sword. Now, the white man's sword is his military might, right? It's all the weapons he has. Our sword is the word of the Most High. There's a precept for it, but I ain't got time to make y'all look it up, all right? We'll get it after class. Luke chapter 19. This is a big one right here. What you got to remember is Esau does not want to give up his stronghold in the earth. He went about for 400 years trying to establish himself as the superior person on the earth, knowing that he was inferior to everybody else. All the nations have drunk of his sin and taken part. Now, Israel, don't be a homeborn slave and join him in the times when the Lord is separating him. Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody don't love the Lord, and everybody don't care about the God of Israel. Else Christ wouldn't have had to say this, what he's saying. There are people, as you fighting for Christ to reign and to rule up under Christ and to have our people in the kingdom, there are people who are going to fight it. And the Spirit of the Lord, which was on Christ, said, this is how you deal with those people. Go ahead. Luke 19 and 27.
Luke chapter 19, verse 27. But those my enemies,
those my friends,
those my enemies,
those my, go ahead,
which would not that I should reign over them.
Now, do you think Donald Trump wants the Lord to reign over him? Wants our King Yahushua to reign over him? Do you think the average white man walking around wants Christ, a black man from the tribe of Judah, who cares about Israelites and Israelites only? You think they want him to reign over them? But Christ said, for those people who would not have me to reign over them,
bring them here, and slay them before me.
Bring them here, and we're going to get rid of them. This is the spirit in the earth. And the Lord don't want you to be simple and to go out shooting or fighting or boring Edomites. All right.
Yeah, it's 7:45. Meetings are closing.
It was 7:55. It's
no, 7:45. Our meeting was closed at 7:45.
Okay, I got you, man.
Okay.
We coming up out of it. They close at 15 minutes early every time. All right, so what we're going to do is I want you to write down Revelations 19 and 11, Ephesians 6 and 10, and we'll roll through it. The point is, the Lord is a man of war, and everything that's going on in the earth right now, is because he wants his people to understand, to separate themselves from the people that's oppressing them, come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, because judgment is coming. All right? Y'all got me? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, and we're going to get back to Officer Nishak's questions. Anybody online, if you want to go ahead and call in, hear the rest of the class. The call-in number is 305-985-5453. It's 305-985-5453, and we're gonna do the overtime. All right. So for everybody on the YouTube, shalom, and everybody else in the class, give me like 5 minutes. We'll hit the reset. Go and get it in. All right.